How accurate are phones as sat-navs on your motorcycle? Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well in these testing times. So this video is all about the use of mobile phones, smartphones, when riding your motorcycle. How accurate are they when you're using them as a sat-nav, let's say? Or if you want to use them to compare the speed of your motorcycle to the speedometer as well. You want to get extra data from certain apps, let's say. And I've done this in the past. I've made videos where I've used the app on the phone to get a speed data, let's say, and distance data, and I can compare that to what I'm getting on my speedometer or my odometer as well. Now, most of the time, actually, you'd say, well, actually, they are very accurate. But here's the thing. Recently, I've been doing a little bit of keep fit. Yes, going out for walks, and very long walks indeed. And I'm using this app called Strava. Now, Strava is one of these apps where you can record walks or running or cycling, that kind of thing. So not necessarily for motorcycle use, but here's the interesting thing that we've noted. My partner, she's also using it as well. We're going out for our walks and our exercising, but she's using an Android phone, a Samsung. Oh, I know. Ooh, Samsung, eh? Anyway, what we found is that there's a difference in the recording. We're taking exactly the same route. We're walking side by side with each other. And the distance on mine seems to be longer on the iPhone than the distance on her Samsung Android phone. So why is that? Well, it could be that it's the actual path that we're taking. Am I taking the outside line? Is she taking the inside line all the time over a long period of time? And that's why we're getting the discrepancy. And it could be that that's what's happening when you're using sort of sat-navs or that kind of thing on a motorcycle as well. It really depends on the track of the motorcycle, the position on the road, how it's being recorded by your GPS unit, essentially. It also really depends on the age of your smartphone or whatever recording device you're using and how it records the GPS signal, because sometimes what you can find is that, let's say you want a map overlay of your routing, it won't be an exact routing. It might be point to point to point, and it cuts off the corners, you see, so you might not get an accurate distance for your recording or of whatever it is. So this kind of led me to think on actually how accurate these are. Now, I watched a video recently where they compared Samsung phones, Android phones, I believe it was, and a couple of iPhones as well of different generations, together with lots of cycling GPS units as well, and they found that the iPhone was actually really quite accurate, and a few of the newer cycling GPS units were quite accurate. The Android wasn't. So if you're riding with an Android phone and you've got it mounted to your handlebars, let's say, it may not be accurate or as accurate as it can be. But does that really matter? Well, I suppose if you're just using it for a general sat-nav, then what you might find is that it might be slower to realize your position. You might be coming up to a junction and you're wondering, well, which way do I turn, left or right? And you're looking at your unit and it's a little bit slow to determine exactly where you are. And a lot of that could be down to the unit itself, or it could be the age of the unit and how quick the processor is able to figure all this out. Now, on the whole, for motorcycle use, I would say, yeah, I'd say they're quite accurate, and lots of people are using them. And there is the whole debate whether you should be using phones on handlebars anyway, especially without any kind of vibration dampening, because some people have reported that there have been problems with the phone cameras afterwards, after mounting them to handlebars as well. I haven't actually experienced that myself, but I know there are reports out there. But should you use your phone as a sat-nav? I would say so. I certainly wouldn't use my brand new phone all the time on my handlebars. As I say, I've got a receiver for this charging unit as well, and occasionally I will put it on there, but I don't religiously put my phone on my handlebars in the holder as well, just so that I can have it there, because I don't really need it. It's only on those occasions where I might be going on a longer distance that I might use the phone, or it's a route that I really don't know at all, that I might use it. So I would say use them sparingly. If you're not looking for absolute accuracy, then yes, they're still perfectly fine, no doubt. I think if you're doing some kind of fitness regime where you want to get yourself back into shape, let's say, you might notice there's a bit of a difference between iPhones and Android phones, let's say, and how they're registering the distance, the time, and your speed, and all these other factors as well. Does it register your speed accurately? Well, the speed test which I've done in the past on the motorcycle would tend to suggest yes, it is very accurate. But is it overreading or underreading? It's really hard to say. But it does seem to be in line with what the motorcycle is reading, or my motorcycle, I should say, as well. So from my point of view, I would say it is quite accurate. Will it give you exactly the same distance travelled as what your odometer is saying? Well, maybe yes and maybe no. It really depends on how it's recording your track as well. So that's got a lot to do with it. So, you know, the odometer on your motorcycle is more of a mechanical system, a mechanical electrical system, rather than a GPS signal, which this is working off as well. Then also we've got to consider GPS signal strength and also interference that it might get. So it might lose a signal or not. If you just got your phone in your pocket, then again it might have a problem picking up the signal sometimes, so it tends to jump from one position fix to another position fix, and it will kind of straight line it. So you might have been doing lots of twisties in between, but it'll just go from this point to this point, and it'll cut off all that distance that you've done in between. So it really depends how the GPS signal is being received by the phone and how that's being recorded as well. Anyway, I thought I'd bring this to you because I know a lot of people use their phones on their motorcycles, and some people may be over relying on the data that it gives them in terms of speed in particular, especially when they're talking about trying to avoid speed cameras and that kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying it's not accurate information, but what I'm saying is really I would still stick to your odometer or your speedometer on your motorcycle, because that's the one that you're going to be verified on. That's the one that you're going to be judged upon, let's say, and not on your phone. But I mean, I could be wrong about that, but I would say if you were to stand off against the cops, let's say, or in a court of law, say, because they're saying you're speeding, you're saying, well, no, I'm not speeding because I'm using my phone. I think you'd have a bit of a struggle on your hands, but you might get away with it on your speedometer as well. Anyway, I hope that was useful for you, whether you want to over-rely or under-rely on these smartphones for your speed or your sat-nav on your motorcycle. But say the position fixing is accurate. It really depends how it's recorded, and you know how accurate do you really want it to be. Do you want it to be down to the actual meter traveled? Well, if you're doing, let's say, distance running, let's say, or distance walking or cycling, well, actually, if you've got a target to hit, then yes, that might be something that you really need to pay attention to. But for general use on the motorcycle or in a car, let's say, no, I wouldn't say it's that specific that you need. As I say, hope you found that useful. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. Check out the members area for all new content and also the content creator course. And I'll catch you again. Bye now.